Okay, so we are talking wound healing and nutritional strategies for wound healing. I know I've said this before, but I think it bears repeating, and it's an important point to make. You don't have to have a wound to benefit from wound healing nutritional strategies. Yes, it's true. If you have a slow healing wound or a normal wound even, and you just want to accelerate the healing process, nutritional strategies are super, super important. But even if you don't have a blatantly obvious skin wound, you can still benefit from these ideas that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, because these are all really strategies for building things. And disease, degenerative disease, chronic disease, whether it's an autoimmune problem like lupus or scleroderma or type 1 diabetes, or whether it's heart disease or osteoarthritis, whatever it is, if it's a degenerative disease, it involves building. It involves anabolism. That's the fancy way of saying building. This is the fundamental concept that underlies our health issues that don't renew, that don't heal, I should say. A degenerative disease is by definition a disease where the body is somehow not accessing its regenerative capacity. The body has a regenerative capacity. That's called healing, and it's built in. The regenerative capacity, the healing process is built in. If we're suffering from a degenerative disease, if our doctor has told us, well, you're going to have to be on this medication the rest of your life, if he's named your disease, if you're identifying with your disease, what's happening really is that something has gotten in the way of this normal, natural, anabolic building process. And this is what a wound is, a wound that doesn't heal. Or any kind of wound. A wound is an example of what happens to the body prior to the healing process. And if it's not healing as it should, something is blocking that healing process. Even the aging process itself is similar in a way to a wound that doesn't heal, or a degenerative type health crisis. The aging process requires anabolic strategies, building strategies, in the same way that wound healing requires anabolic and building strategies. If it's going to help you for a wound, it's going to help you for health. If you're using a nutritional strategy that's going to help your wound and help healing of a wound, help accelerate or enhance the healing of a wound, it's going to help you for everything. I spent the last 30 years in the skincare business formulating skincare products that are supposedly cosmetic products, but really they're healing products. A good skincare product, like a good nutritional supplement program, should help support building. A good skincare product should be a wound healing product. And a good nutritional supplement program should be a wound healing nutritional supplement program, even if you don't have a wound. Anti-aging the same way. A good anti-aging nutritional supplement program will be good for wound healing as well as helping you anti-age. The superstar of wound healing and anti-aging in general is protein. Adequate protein means faster healing, and adequate protein absorption from the digestive system means faster healing. Protein is the stuff the body actually uses to form the closure on a wound. It's the tissue, it's the fibers, it's the matrix, it's the matter, it's the stuff that will actually close the wound. Vitamins, minerals, essential fats, those are all important, obviously. But they're important because they play a supporting role. Protein itself is the stuff. That means if you're dealing with any kind of degenerative crisis, if you're dealing with accelerated aging, and if you're dealing with wounds that don't heal or wounds that you want to speed up the healing of, making sure you're getting enough protein, especially in terms of high protein foods, is vital for appropriate healing. Organ meats, dairy, eggs are particularly helpful due to their nature as building foods. All protein has a building quality, but dairy and meat and eggs are particularly building foods. In addition to the structural proteins, these foods, especially dairy and eggs, are also going to contribute growth factors, which are a type of protein that acts to signal or initiate the growth process, the growth and recovery and the healing process. It's the growth factors that make eggs and dairy such important healing foods. Above and beyond the protein, above and beyond the building amino acids, these growth factors are what make eggs and dairy really singular in the world of foods as far as healing and building and regeneration go. Vegetarians, vegans, they'll often tell you, and I've talked to a lot of them. They'll often say, oh, protein is everywhere, and you can get it in beans, and you can get it in legumes and peanuts, etc. Yes, that's true. You can get protein pretty much everywhere. Vegetables have protein, grains have protein, seeds have protein, beans have protein, legumes have protein. They're all sources of protein. But animal foods provide building proteins, and they provide growth factors, and they provide peptides, little tiny little pieces of proteins that are specific for the healing process. And these types of foods, especially dairy and eggs, also have something called the cholesterol complex. The cholesterol complex is a lump, if you will. It's a whole bunch of elements made up of vitamin A and vitamin D and cholesterol and things called phospholipids and lecithin. All of these are indispensable, absolutely critical for the healing process to occur. They're not found in vegetables. There's no cholesterol complex in vegetables. There's no vitamin A in vegetables. There's no vitamin D in vegetables, with perhaps the exception of mushrooms. There's no lecithin in phospholipids. Well, actually, there is lecithin and phospholipids in vegetables, but it doesn't occur in this cholesterol complex. Cholesterol is majorly important for the healing process. Cholesterol is majorly important for skin health. Cholesterol is majorly important for wounds that don't heal. The skin actually makes its own cholesterol. Skin cells themselves make their own cholesterol, which support overall skin health and healing. Cholesterol can be applied topically to wounds as well to speed the healing process. I use cholesterol in my wound healing and scar prevention cream that some of you have written to me about. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Got more to say about wound healing and good nutritional strategies. We're coming back with more good health information right after this. Don't go away. Okay, welcome back to The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're here Monday through Friday on the Genesis Communication Network, 8 to 9 Pacific and 10 to 11 Central Time, and 24/7 on our archive page at brightsideben.com. You'll find a shopping cart and a Join the Team link. You can purchase any of the longevity products you hear us talk about on the program or recommend on the program at brightsideben.com. Just pull down on the shopping cart, check out all the products, including the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and Jordan Rubin's probiotics, the Suero V, and the Amasai. Suero V is great for fasting. Amasai also is. Suero V is great to to fast with. It's got easy to absorb electrolytes, potassium and sodium. It's got some probiotics in there as well. And then the Amasai, which is kind of like a kefir or yogurty type of drink, is great to break your fast on. If you don't feel like eating a full meal in the middle of the day, the Amasai kefir type beverage, I suppose you could call it, is great for giving you some quick energy, and also it's very filling and satisfying. Of course, you also get the probiotics and the good bacteria for your digestive system. You can also check out Jordan's Artisan Cheese, and let me tell you something, that is some amazing, amazing cheese. You're not going to want to eat supermarket cheddar cheese after you've tried this Beyond Organics cheese. You find out all about it at brightsideben.com. Just pull down on the shopping cart, or you can click on the Join the Team link and get your products at the wholesale price for a one-time $10 fee. You can make some money selling longevity products and help me in my mission to educate the world about how important a good nutritional supplement program can be. You can change your life. You could change other people's lives using the longevity products. I've seen it happen over and over and over again over the last 17 years that I've been involved with the longevity company. You can also call the Brightside Ben phone team at 866-735-2470, and they can tell you all about it. They can give you the scoop on how you can join the Brightside Ben team. Okay, so we're talking wound healing. Cholesterol is really important stuff. Cholesterol, arguably, I can't think of a more important molecule, more multifunctional chemical in the body than cholesterol. There may be one, but I can't think of it. Super, mega important for the building and the healing process to occur. You can use cholesterol topically. I've been putting it in my wound healing cream now for many years. If you've the wound healing cream that I'm going to be sending out, I actually started sending them out. Some of you have already have written me several times asking where your wound healing cream is, your scar healing cream. I'm sending them out this week and next week. If you're interested in trying a sample out, it's made with cholesterol, a little bit of cholesterol, and omega-6 fatty acids, and a whole bunch of vitamin C. If you're interested in checking it out, you can send me an email, ben@ksco.com. Make sure you put your address. Got a bunch of letters with no addresses, so please make sure you put your address on there and put it in a in kind of a mailing sort of fashion where you put your name on one line and then your address on the subsequent line, so I can cut and paste and stick them on labels. It makes it easier for me to do all these envelopes, which I'm doing basically myself with an assistant. So I'm glad to send you out a free sample, bennettksco.com. It's a wound healing cream. It's designed to heal wounds and also to prevent scars. You can use it after burns or after chemical peels if you are so inclined to get chemical peels or exfoliation treatments. And it makes a great anti-aging product because wound healing and anti-aging are basically the same thing. So you can use the wound healing cream to prevent wrinkles, to protect yourself from the sun, to accelerate the healing of wounds, of course, and to prevent scars. Okay, so cholesterol topically can speed up healing. Cholesterol is an important component of skin cells. Your skin can't make cells, or your body can't make skin cells without cholesterol. And cholesterol is also converted into hormones like testosterone and estrogen right in the skin. The skin has its own source of cholesterol for making its own building hormones, for making its own testosterone and estrogen and DHEA, which is also another cholesterol-derived hormone, which has a really, really important positive effect on wound healing. Seafood is a great high-protein food that can be especially helpful for wound healing. It contains generous amounts of cholesterol, and it also seafood in general contains the amino acid taurine, which next to arginine may be the most important amino acid in the entire wound healing process. Taurine is well known as an antioxidant. It's got anti-inflammatory properties, and it also stimulates the growth of new skin cells. There was an article that was published in the journal Amino Acids, showed taurine to be significantly beneficial for improving the strength of wound healing fibers. No surprise, because taurine is a very important collagen stimulating amino acid. Taurine can stimulate the production of new collagen fibers. Also, the anti-inflammatory effects of taurine can help suppress inflammation, which can slow down the healing of a wound. It's also possible to use taurine topically on wounds to help speed up the healing process. Yesterday, or maybe a couple days ago, we talked about chitin and its derivative chitosan. That's C-H-I-T-I-N, chitin, and its derivative chitosan as wound healing agents. As it turns out, you can take chitin and chitosan orally, but you can also combine taurine and chitosan and make a gel that will support wound healing. You could make your own wound healing gel. You break open a chitosan capsule, dissolve it in some water, it'll form a little gel, mix in some taurine. Chitosan goes right into solution, it'll form this sticky gel that will adhere to your wound, and then when you stick the taurine in there, that's going to amp up the gel's wound healing properties. Actually, there was a study that talked about this, and again, in the journal Amino Acid, a 2002 article talked about how using this taurine chitosan gel can accelerate the healing process. If you don't want to use chitin or chitosan, which you can get on the internet, you can get the same benefits by breaking open some glucogel caps. Remember, chitin and chitosan is actually a type of glucosamine. It's made up of long chains of chunks of glucosamine. You get the same benefit if you use your glucogel caps orally as well as internally. In fact, if you have a slow healing wound, a wound that won't heal, the glucogel caps is a wonderful wound healing supplement. And remember, wound healing means anti-aging. So wound healing and anti-aging and skin health and skin beauty as well. All of these are ways that you can use the glucogel caps to improve your overall health and improve your cosmetic health as well, just your skin's appearance. Chitin and chitosan are key components of insect shells and shellfish, shrimp, and other crustaceans. It's a good idea to add shrimp shells to your bone soup. Bone soup itself is a wonderful healing food, a wonderful anti-aging food. If you add shrimp shells to the bone soup, you'll get all the healing benefits of the chitin. You'll actually amp up the glucosamine content of your bone soup by throwing in your old shrimp shell. So if you're peeling shrimp, if you're eating shrimp or any kind of shellfish, really save them. Save the shells, put them in the freezer, and when you're making your bone soup, use those shells. It'll give your soup a little flavor, and it will contribute glucosamine for extra wound healing. If you're vegetarian or vegan, my friend Eileen, hey Eileen, I know you're listening. My friend Eileen reminded me via email that mushrooms are also a good source of chitin and chitosan. So make mushroom soup, or even better, add some mushrooms to your bone soup, unless you're a vegetarian, and then make mushroom soup. Chitin and chitosan, by the way, are marketed as diet aids because they have an ability to sop up or to sponge up fats and cholesterol. Unfortunately, they'll also sponge up vitamin A and vitamin D and fatty vitamins and essential fatty acids, probably phytonutrients as well. So I'm not sure if you really want to use chitin and chitosan as for their fat absorption properties, but nonetheless, that's how they're marketed. Taurine is also important for sugar metabolism, and there is a really, really interesting relationship between sugar metabolism and insulin when it comes to wound healing. Taurine may potentize strength in insulin, and insulin is very, very important when it comes to wound healing properties. And this is one of the reasons why diabetics have problems with slow healing wounds. Their bodies don't listen to insulin. This relationship between blood sugar and diabetes and insulin and wound healing is very, very interesting, and it's all connected to the aging process as well, and we'll continue this discussion tomorrow as we talk about wound healing and protein and nutritional strategies for helping accelerate the healing of wounds. We're coming back with your phone calls on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Don't go away. Okay, 855-660-4261 is our phone number on the bright side. Let's go off to Ireland and welcome Colin to the bright side. What's up, Colin? How you doing? Northern Ireland.
How you doing, Ben? How you doing?
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, correct.
Thanks for calling. How can we help you?
Well, I'm calling about a workmate, Ben. I've called you before about myself, and your advice is top notch, and I appreciate it. It's great what you do.
Thank you.
And he's a fellow. He's about your age, and you can see him suffering with type 2 diabetes. You know, his blood sugar's up and down all day.
Okay.
But he's also got hemochromatosis.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
No, I don't know much about that, but I asked him about the treatment, and I thought it was drugs, and he said, no, they bleed him every 2 weeks, which I thought was a bit medieval, you know. So
it's kind of medieval.
He's a nice bloke, and yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, here's the deal. Hemochromatosis is an iron overload disease. The body doesn't process iron correctly, and it starts to build up. Iron is kind of a tricky mineral. Obviously, we need iron. Very, very important for hemoglobin and for oxygenation of the blood, etc. But iron is also very unstable. And in the world of nutrition, things that are unstable can be problematic. So you don't want to have a lot of iron floating around. In fact, the body will regulate iron very, very, very tightly. There are chemicals that are produced in the liver that control how much iron is leaked out, how much iron is absorbed, how much iron is stored. So typically, if you're dealing with iron overload disease, you're dealing with a liver problem. Now, doctors will tell you it's genetic, and doctors will tell you it's hereditary. But if your friend has type 2 diabetes and he has other health issues, I wouldn't even be paying attention to this nonsense about genetics and hemochromatosis. I'd be concentrating on the liver. And this is not uncommon in this country, and I'm sure it's not uncommon in Ireland for folks to be dealing with liver problems. And if he's a diabetic, probably he's got other issues. Almost guaranteed he's got some liver issues, and probably got some other stuff going on too. The bleeding is a way of eliminating iron. Iron is stored, travels around in the blood, and by bleeding, you help. The theory is anyway, you help eliminate iron out of the body. Other strategies that are probably as good or better are to chelate the iron, to magnetically attract the iron, and you can use various nutritional supplements to do that, or you can have chelation therapy done, something called EDTA therapy. That's one way that you can chelate iron. You can use supplements like N-acetylcysteine, NAC, can help chelate iron. Selenium has some chelating properties. Let's see what else. Sulfur, MSM sulfur also has some chelating properties. I'd be focusing on the liver as well, making sure that if he has any digestive issues, that he's correcting his digestive issues. Now, the liver has to process all kinds of toxins in addition to alcohol and drug toxins. It's also processing food toxins as well. So focusing on the digestive system, and of course, the liver is a sugar processing structure, a sugar processing organ. And so if he has diabetes, that's going to also put a load on the liver. So making sure that he's concentrating on keeping his blood sugar down and using things like the Sweeties from Longevity and the Osteomag perhaps and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, all of the strategies for keeping blood sugar stable. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking a little bit about blood sugar as it regards wound healing, so maybe have your friend listen in tomorrow or listen in on the archive. So number one, You can focus on chelation therapy using EDTA or using selenium or using sulfur. Number 2, focus on liver health using digestive strategies, eliminating problem foods. Number 3, focus on blood sugar stabilization, staying away from foods that spike his blood sugar, and then using nutrients like the Healthy Start Pack, the B vitamins and the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Sweeties, magnesium, and zinc. These are all great strategies for helping reduce iron content. But I would be focusing mostly on the liver and the digestive system. That would be my major strategies. Does that help you, Colin?
It does indeed, Ben. Thanks very much. All the best.
Thank you. God bless to you, my friend. Okay, let's go to Rory in California. Rory, what's going on? Welcome to the bright side.
Thanks, Ben. Yes, I called yesterday regards my mother-in-law. She's mid-80s, 40 years of vegan, vegetarian, and more recently vegan in the last probably 20 years. Had thyroid issues, got talked into getting her thyroid nuked maybe 15 years ago. So the question is, she is vegan. She uses a lot of soy for protein.
Well, and, that's not going to help her thyroid. Is her thyroid completely nuked? Is her thyroid completely? It was,
but it looks like it's regrown.
Oh, yeah, I remember talking to you. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know why she thinks she needs the soy. That's definitely a problem for the thyroid. I wouldn't be going near soy if I were her. That's one thing. If she's vegan, that's going to be a little bit tricky. Algae, she can do algae, right? Does she?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sure. Algae is one good source of protein. Like, non-soy legumes. It's really tricky. She can certainly do. Rice protein. Yeah, spirulina is good, but it's a good source of protein, but it doesn't have a concentrated amount of protein. She could do rice protein and sprouted proteins. Sprouts also are a good source. She's
a big sprout person.
Have her do sprouted rice protein. I forgot the name of the company that makes the sprouted rice protein powder, and that's what I'd be doing. And I'd be doing a lot of it, enough to the point where she feels satisfied and full. And if she can mix oil, something like Udo's Blend oils or the Ultimate EFA capsules, the combination of protein and fat is extremely satisfying. She can mix coconut oil in with her sprouted rice protein smoothies. Make sprouted rice protein smoothies with coconut oil and perhaps nuts and fiber to have a filling quality. I'd be very careful, however, of the soy. If she has any digestive problems, and if she's in her 80s, chances are she has something going on. Low stomach acid is usually what happens as we get older. You're going to want to correct digestive problems. Use apple cider vinegar. Use the Ultimate Enzymes from Youngevity. Remember, thyroid hormone is activated in the intestine and in the liver to a certain extent. So you got to make sure that you got enough probiotics going on. I'd be using fermented foods as well as the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Focus on a good source of protein that she can use. That way she won't feel hungry and she won't be snacking on the grains and the soy in the middle of the day. Combine the protein with fats. Make sure she's on the Mighty 90 essential nutrients, especially the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Have her sipping on that all day long. Make sure she's stabilizing any kind of digestive problems. Staying away from foods that cause digestive problems, and then using apple cider vinegar, using the digestive enzymes, using probiotics. If she has any problems with fat absorption, which is very common as we get older, then she's going to want to start to throw in some lecithin perhaps, and some extra bile salts perhaps, also the amino acid taurine and the B vitamin-like substance choline can help with fat absorption. Thanks so much for your call, Rory. Hope we helped you out. If you have anything else to say, we'll let you finish up when we come back from our break. If you're on hold, hang tight. We'll get to you as well. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back after this. We're talking to Rory in California. So did that help you, Rory? Thyroid, digestive system?
Yeah, big help. Last quick question. She's, I think she's been on thyroxine. She's been on some kind of supplement. She's been back to the doctor. She's waiting to hear from them. What if they come back with her and say, hey, we need to renuke your regrowing thyroid? In addition to these supplemental ideas and modifying her vegetarian diet, is there any advice or direction you could point her?
Deep breathing, take it easy on the body. The thyroid is a regulatory organ. It regulates everything. That means without a thyroid, you're going to be at major risk for problems adjusting to your environment. The thyroid is when I say the thyroid is a regulatory organ, that means it helps the body adjust to things. So anything, you got to keep the body stable. That means eating as little food as you absolutely need, eating as little problematic liquid foods, taking it easy on the body, deep breathing, breathing, staying away from psychological stressors. Anything that puts a burden on the body is going to really mess somebody up who doesn't have a thyroid. Then she's going to be dealing with adrenal energy and cortisol, and that's not a good thing. Now go ahead.
Is it unusual for the thyroid to grow back?
Now everything grows.
15 years later.
No, everything grows back. Everything regenerates unless they completely destroyed it or took it out, which they do sometimes. No, it's not. It's I've heard of it happening. Absolutely. Okay, good deal.
You, Dan.
Thank you. God bless,
Thank
Rory.
you very
Take care.
much. Take
care, bro. Okay, Pat in Indiana, what's going on? Welcome to the bright side.
Hello.
Hey, Pat.
We have a little dog. He's going on 13, and they say his body's not getting rid of the toxins. And we wondered, is there any natural?
Well, it depends on what the toxins are, and it depends on what's not working correctly. Is it a liver problem or a kidney problem? Or it's a kidney problem.
Kidney.
All right. So, is he eating? What kind of dog food is it? Purina, cat, dog chow, or
Pretty
that kind
much
of stuff?
the natural food you got at the dog food store.
Look at the ingredient deck, and I would personally read a book called Pottinger's Cats, which is basically for cats, but it's also generally for animals. Dogs eat meat. They're not supposed to be eating a lot of sugar and bready, carbohydrates, soy, and that's the kind of stuff that's in a lot of the dry dog food. So, or even in the wet dog food as well. So make sure the dog is not eating foods that mess up his blood sugar. Doggy diabetes is it's pretty common actually. So he may have a problem with blood sugar. Kidney issues are often associated with elevations or what's called dysglycemia, messed up blood sugar. So focus on keeping the blood sugar stable. See if the dog's a diabetic, you want to correct that, or even if the dog has any kind of blood sugar problems. Keeping the blood clean is the most important strategy for taking care of the kidneys. This goes for anybody on dialysis, anybody who's starting to experiencing kidney breakdown. The kidneys filter the blood. They're a spaghetti strainer for the blood. Just like if you have a dirty pot of water, when you try to strain your spaghetti, the pieces of dirt are going to clog up your spaghetti strainer. Well, that's what happens when you have kidney disease. Your kidneys are like a spaghetti strainer, and they're filtering the blood. When the blood is dirty or when the blood is toxic, especially from sugar, the kidneys are going to start to get damaged. And if he does have a kidney problem, chances are that's what's occurring. Think kidneys, think food, basically, is what we're talking about. So focusing on the diet is where you want to work. Now, if he has, did they say anything else with the dog, or it's just the kidneys?
They did say he didn't have diabetes, but how they found this is because he kept throwing up and he wouldn't hardly eat no more.
Then there's a food problem. Now, I wouldn't be convinced that he doesn't have he may not have officially diabetes, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have blood sugar problems, so you still want to work there. But if he's throwing things up, and that sounds to me like there's some kind of digestive issue that's going on. You work with the food is what I would be doing. Try to find a food that he can use, or try to find the foods that are triggering his vomiting reflex, and that might be a clue for you. Think food and think blood sugar. Those are the two places to work with the kidneys.
Now, can you would it hurt to give him food off the table, or?
It depends on what the food is,
Well, we try to protect our stuff, so most of it's garden-like food.
He doesn't dogs don't really need vegetables. They need meat.
They need meat.
They need meat. They need protein. They're carnivores, dogs. I mean, they'll eat anything pretty much. They're like us. Well, they'll eat whatever we're eating, but they thrive on meat and protein and fats as well. And that's where I'd be focusing. But look for foods that he has issues with, and don't assume that because he's not officially a diabetic that he doesn't have blood sugar problems. Those are the two most likely places for dogs and for people, or for animals or human animals, where the kidneys start to break down. Food and the blood sugar system.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your call, Pat.
Can he eat chicken livers? Would that be?
Sure. Oh, yeah. Organic. Give him.
Organic chicken livers.
Oh, everybody can do organic chicken livers. If you're not a vegetarian, organic chicken livers are maybe they're among, anyway, the single most powerful foods any human being can eat. Of course, it has to be organic because the liver processes poisons. So if you're eating liver...
Does that apply to all the meats organic?
Well, yeah, always. But the liver is especially important because the liver processes all the poisons. So if you eat non-organic liver, you're going to end up eating all the crap, too. So, but yeah, always organic wherever possible.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Pat. Have a good day. Okay, Brian in Atlanta, welcome to the bright side. What's going on? Ooh, Brian, are you there?
Hey, how you doing, Ben?
We've got a really bad connection. What's up, Brian?
Hey, I'm calling on behalf of my father. He is 83 years old. Okay. Historically has been extremely healthy guy, very active, and he is a Vietnam veteran, so his only health issue historically has been related to Agent Orange.
Okay. What did he have? What kind of health issues?
Well, he had a heart bypass about 8 years ago, was doing great after that, and then about 3 years ago he started suffering some severe shortness of breath, tiredness, dizziness.
Okay.
now he goes to a military base for his health assistance.
Okay.
And they started doing stenting into his
All right. Well, that's
arteries.
what they do. You know, the military doctors and insurance company doctors, they don't work for your dad. They work for the military. Yeah. And insurance companies, Kaiser and those kinds of places, they don't work for the patients. They work for Kaiser. And so...
Well, and that's my frustration is that, because he's so healthy, I really feel like if his body was treated properly, he could do a lot of this healing himself.
Well, let's do it properly.
My concern is they've got him on about 8 different medicines now, and he's typically never been... Yeah.
That's not going to help him.
And I've got a list of the meds if you want them, but...
we don't have a lot of time. We only have a couple minutes here. Just know the medicines are not going to help him. They'll hide his symptoms. They'll mask his symptoms. And that's about it. They're not going to help him. People, I'm a pharmacist. I've been studying this since 1983. There are no drugs that you are on chronically that help anything. They simply mask symptomology. Absolutely. They're not going to help his heart. So here's what you need to do. Number one, you need to remove any kind of burdens on the body that are coming in through the digestive system. That means focus on digestive health. Use the probiotics. Use the ultimate enzymes. The Biolumin Nightly Essence has got blood thinning digestive enzymes in them. Any digestive ultimate enzymes will do the same thing after meals and on an empty stomach. Use the B complex liberally. You'll find that in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. That alone can make a significant difference. Have him sipping on the BTT all day long. I'd be using 2 bottles of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine a month. So have him get on the Healthy Start Pack and throw in an extra bottle of the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Other nutrients that are must-haves for the heart, well, before we get into nutrients, blood sugar. Stabilizing the blood sugar is extremely important. That means more protein, more coconut oil and good fats and the ultimate essential fatty acids, and less blood sugar spiking foods. Think digestion, think blood sugar, and then as far as the heart goes, specific nutrients, coenzyme Q10 is an absolute superstar for cardiovascular issues, for heart problems. Anybody who's had a bypass or has been being stented must have, not optional, 100 to 200 milligrams of CoQ10 a day. And along with the CoQ10 is CoQ10's cousin, which is vitamin E, and about 400 international units of vitamin E a day. In addition to the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the Healthy Start Pack, he probably wants to throw in a little extra vitamin C, maybe another 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams a day. And magnesium is the most important heart mineral. Well, it's one of the most important, 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of magnesium a day. Use the OsteoFX product. That'll get you magnesium as well as calcium. Zinc is also very important for the heart. We don't often talk about zinc as a heart mineral, but it is. 50 milligrams of zinc picolinate a day, and along with your zinc, you always want vitamin A, maybe 20,000 international units of vitamin A a day. Wouldn't hurt to throw in a little vitamin K2 to keep the calcium from building up. Maybe anywhere from 1,000 to 5,000 micrograms of vitamin K2 a day is a good place to be. And then the less stress he puts on his body through eating, and I'm talking about any eating, not just eating lousy, but any kind of eating, the better. So liquid nutrients, bone soup, smoothies, vegetable juices, and as little digestive work as he can give his body. The less digestive work he can give his body, the better. And that's all the time we have for today, Brian. I'm sorry. You can call back tomorrow if you have any other questions, or you can send me an email, ben@ksco.com. Thanks so much, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you to all our callers, all our letter writers. If you're interested in checking out my wound scar cream, I'm sending out free samples. Send me an email, ben@ksco.com. Of course, if you want to join the Brightside Ben team, I'd love to have you aboard for a one-time $10 fee. You can start yourself a longevity business and help me in my mission to educate the world about how important a good nutritional supplement program can be. Call 866-735-2470. They can tell you all about it. Have yourselves a wonderful, awesome, beautiful day. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.